I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at my website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Ending on a High Note. And that is certainly possible for all of us this week, because we have something very rare happening in the heavens, and it's very good. It can help all of us. And it is that there are 3 planets. 30% of all the planets in the universe are in the sign that they rule. They're at home in the sign they rule. And so that makes them very strong. And on top of that, they are all either sextiling or trining each other. So that opens up a whole world of opportunities for all of us to perhaps end some sort of lingering problem in our lives, but end it on a high note and end it well. And so that can allow all of us also to make a new beginning. And a new beginning is extremely well aspected right now. But those 3 planets that are so strong because they're at home in the sign they rule, and they're all in very harmonious aspect to each other, begins with the planet of Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So it rules things that go on behind the scenes, and it rules extreme creativity, and it rules sometimes covert activities, and it also rules healing, because all of the water signs rule healing. And so with Saturn there, and it being a planet of reality, particularly sobering reality, we understand that behind the scenes we have to sort of face the truth about things we've been kidding ourselves about, or about things that are not really the way they seem. We have to look at them a little bit more realistically, including our own dreams. But with Neptune in Pisces, at home in the sign it rules, it means that there can be better dreams around once we sort of get down to really accepting the truth about something. Well, those 2 planets in Pisces are trining another 2 planets in a water sign. In fact, there are 4 planets trining each other in the healing water signs today. And that is because Neptune and Saturn are both trining Mars, which has just moved into Cancer, and it's at 2 degrees. It's in perfect trine to Saturn, which is at 2 degrees of Pisces. But also, the planets in Pisces are trining the moon today, which is at home in the sign it rules, Cancer. And not only that, but the moon is at the 13th degree in Cancer right now. And the 13th degree in Cancer is what we call a critical degree. It means that if a planet is on that specific degree, not the 12th and not the 14th, just the 13th degree, its power is heightened. And so every 4th of July, when we are celebrating America's birthday, the sun is at 13 degrees of Cancer. That is America's sun sign and the exact degree of it. Well, today the moon is conjuncting America's sun because it's at 13 degrees, and Mars is in the sign, and they are both being trined by that powerful Neptune, which is also at home in Pisces, and by Saturn in Pisces. And so with 4 planets in the healing water signs, and they all trine the sign of Scorpio as well, it is an indication that this is a time when there can be very strong feelings about an event, perhaps in your life, or a move that you or another family member is making. And it can, these strong feelings can center around the event or the move, and they can require a very determined effort. Mars and Saturn trining each other means lots of work and lots of determination and energy as well. But the result, since these 4 planets are trining the sign of Scorpio, the result will mean that justice can be done in one way or another as the truth is acknowledged. And as the truth is acknowledged, that can represent some sort of ending on a high note. In other words, perhaps somebody is just moving, or maybe you are. But it would indicate perhaps the ending of one way of life or one way of doing something, and a chance to open up and start something brand new, which would be great. Or it could be that if you've been kidding yourself about something for a very long time, that is what could be ending. But you could be realizing and acknowledging the truth about something and seeing that justice is done and be ready to move on from that, which would be great. You'd be ending something on a high note. So that would be fine. And then, among the earth signs, there is a fabulous conjunction of the two love planets. And they are both in Taurus. There aren't any other planets in the earth signs, but wow, what a dynamic duo in Taurus. Because they are conjuncting each other. And that means that Venus is at, I think, 13 degrees today, or 15 degrees, I think, today in Taurus, and Uranus is at 17 degrees in Taurus. So they're in almost perfect alignment. And they're called the two love planets, and that is a rare thing. First of all, that Venus is at home in the sign it rules. It's one of the three that is like that. And it is conjuncting Uranus, a planet that rules the future because it rules Aquarius, but it also rules sudden surprising change and volatility. And Taurus is a fixed financial sign ruling your investments. But because these love planets are conjuncting today, I would first like to explain why there are two different love planets. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra. And Venus is a love planet that rules touching love. In Taurus it rules things you own that you can touch, property and nice things and the things that money can buy and investments. But it's a touching planet because it also rules Libra, and Libra rules partnership, and it rules compromise and diplomacy and the law and legal dealings. And those are things that affect our everyday lives as well. So that's why Venus is a touching love, particularly since it involves other people that you work with or that you are involved with in one way or another. But Uranus rules platonic love. And that is the love of something that you love to do. And it's you and a lot of other people that could love it. And so Uranus rules music. And a lot of people like the same kind of music. So that's nice. They're all sharing in that love of it. Or in the space program, when you see the picture of those engineers that are suddenly celebrating something really big because either something has gone off and is heading towards space or it's landing from space, and every single engineer in the room is cheering because they all loved what they were doing. It isn't that they loved each other in a touching way. It's that they all loved, launching something or seeing it land again, or the challenge of something in the future. And so they were all working together and sharing that love. And that's a platonic love. The love for something, or things you like to do with other people that you all enjoy together. And so the two love planets are conjuncting right now in Taurus. And since Taurus is a fixed financial sign, it simply means that there could be an infusion of money, good money, somewhere in your life right now. It may come about because you are able to sell one investment that has made a little money for you, and with that money you could be able to purchase another investment. And that would certainly end something on a high note. It could improve your living standards, or it could give you a little bit more room if your family is expanding, or it could just help you buy something that would make you happy. And that could end a period of time that had been unhappy for you, but you could acknowledge that you're getting through all that right now, and you could certainly be ending something on a high note by maybe rewarding yourself for getting through a troubling time. And so that's very good. And then in the air signs, there's only one planet in an air sign right now, because Mars has been in Gemini, but it moved on. And Saturn was in Aquarius, but it moved on. So the only planet that is in an air sign right now is Pluto, a planet of power. And it is in Aquarius, and it's at 0 degrees of Aquarius. It's a real slow mover. And Aquarius does rule the future. And so there is the possibility, since that Pluto in Aquarius, first of all, it's trining Gemini and it's trining Libra. And so you could be ending something on a high note by agreeing to share your workload or your responsibilities with somebody else in a temporary or part-time way, because Gemini rules temporary or part-time efforts. Or you could be deciding that you want to sort of share your authority or power, because that's what Pluto is, and share that with somebody else who would make a good partner. Or you could think of them as a good partner, because that Pluto is trining Libra, which rules partnership. But at the same time, there are planets, particularly these 3 wonderful planets that are all at home in the sign they rule, that can be facing some challenges. And so that Pluto in Aquarius today is squaring Venus and Uranus in Taurus. And that simply means that if you are ending something on a high note that represents a troublesome period or a big change in your lifestyle, and you're sort of rewarding yourself by selling one investment and buying another, at the same time, even if you can afford everything, an initial purchase, you'd better keep a little money aside in order to satisfy unanticipated expenses connected with any big purchase that you're making or big investment that you're making. There could be unexpected expenses that just sort of come at you. And so you better have another little extra piggy bank for that if you can. And then in the fire signs, there are 3 wonderful planets today in Aries, the sign of new beginnings. And remember I said that we can end something that represents a lingering problem in our lives. It's been around. We're associated with that in a way, and it's certainly been a problem of some sort. And we can end that on a high note right now, because a new beginning is so well favored for everyone. And that is because today the sun is at 9 degrees of Aries, and it is joining Mercury and Jupiter in Aries, and Mercury and Jupiter are closely conjuncting. Jupiter is at, I think, 19 degrees of Aries, and Mercury is at 21 degrees. And Mercury is the planet of communication, and Jupiter is the planet of goodness. So I think there is the possibility that you could be getting some really good news about a new beginning. I mean, even if you weren't expecting one, it could come your way, which would be very nice, because the sun is also in Aries, which certainly accentuates the possibility for new beginnings right now. But as I said, there are no planets in the other fire signs, but that's all right. Those 3 planets in Aries are just great. However, Aries is a cardinal sign. And once again, there can be challenges, because that Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter in Aries are all being squared by 2 other planets in another cardinal sign. And they are Mars, Aries' own ruler, and the Moon in Cancer. And so there are 4 cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And right now, there are 5 planets in cardinal signs squaring each other. And so what does that mean? Well, I think what it means is that people can have a difference of opinion, or as I said, among the water signs, very strong feelings about things right now that will require determined effort regarding an event or a move or something like that. But with the Moon and Mars squaring the Sun and Jupiter and Mercury, particularly with the sun and moon squaring each other, it can be leading to indecision about some new beginning. And I think it will erupt. You know, Mars is sort of a very aggressive planet. It could erupt in some sort of argument or disagreement about the right way to do something. Okay, so everybody could be on the same page about wanting a new beginning, but there could also be a few arguments or differences of opinion about what the right way is to do something. And so you have to sort of contend with that as well. But overall, these three planets, Neptune in Pisces, which is trining the moon in Cancer, and then they are both being sextiled beautifully by Venus in Taurus. These three planets that are at home in the sign they rule represent very powerfully good influences among the signs that they rule. And they're all harmonious. And so that's why I think we can end something on a high note. And it won't, something that has been a lingering problem in your life is actually expected to end well, particularly if you don't argue about it. Just end it. Because it can end in a way that acknowledges, even if people have been of different opinions or want to go their different ways, it can be done in a way that allows people to have their dignity and to go on in life. And isn't that what you want? I mean, I think that's what we all want. So this is a time when a lingering problem can end on a high note. And just remember that you can be a part of something pretty good, even if it's ending. You can do an ending really well right now. And the reason for the ending is that everyone is aspected for a new beginning, a great one. So there are better things ahead. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. Well, Aries, you've got the sun, and you've got Jupiter and Mercury all in your sign. And even though there aren't any other planets in Sagittarius or Leo, your sign is loaded, Aries. You do have to be a little bit careful about people who can come along and question you or want to be a little bit argumentative with you, who have very strong emotions or strong feelings right now, because your own ruler, Mars, and the moon in Cancer are squaring the three planets in your sign. But they are three great planets, Aries. And so I would say that you are off. You're going to make a new beginning. You're all ready to end a lingering problem. I mean, it's like yesterday's news. You don't want to have anything more to do with it. And so Aries, even though there are people that could, disagree on the right way to do something, as long as you do not take the bait, as long as you decide that if somebody's coming at you, voicing all of their opinions that you do not agree with anyway, if you can just be as quiet as possible or invent an excuse why you can't be there to listen to them, then you could end a problem on a high note. In other words, maybe somebody wants to goad you into an argument. Well, don't let them do that, Aries. You have great planets in your sign. Jupiter and Mercury, good news. Mercury rules news. So you're the one that's going to get the good news, Aries. Don't spoil that by stepping into some sort of verbal trap or something that other people lay for you in order to arouse your animosity and become angry. Let them be angry, but let them do it on their own time, Aries, not on yours. So you may have to be a little bit adroit about inventing an excuse why you just don't have time to listen to all that right now. But, protect your own happiness, Aries, because there are nice things that are coming at you, or they're right in front of you, and they represent new beginnings, and that's what you should look forward to right now. So congratulations. I think you're going to get some good news. And don't let anything spoil that. Just smile and keep going anyway. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, like I said, the two love planets are both in your sign and they're both in very close alignment. They're conjuncting each other, which compounds or doubles their strength. Now, there aren't any planets in Capricorn or in Virgo, but gee, Taurus, you don't need that right now. You've got some really great possibilities in front of you. You could be anticipating the ability to perhaps sell one investment and take the proceeds from that and purchase another investment. Maybe it's something that you've had your eye on for a while, or maybe it's simply that your family is expanding, or that somebody else that you care about or that you love needs something, and you're happy to provide it because your sign is the sign of the good provider. And so, you know, Taurus is a good hard worker, but Taurus says, I love you by spending money on somebody or something. And it's the money they worked for and they earned the hard way. And so, you know, the love planet, now both love planets are in your sign, but Venus rules your sign, and it represents a touching kind of love. But Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and Taurus is, they have a lot of love in their heart, but it's pretty deep. And they don't, you know, they're not flighty. Whoever or whatever they love, they really love. They really love them. And so they say that by providing for them. And so, Taurus, if you've been the kind of person that's always bought somebody else something that they needed, I hope they realize that that was your way of saying I love you, because it is. And this is an opportunity, once again, for you to end a lingering problem on a high note, and you might do that by buying somebody something that they need right now. And then they may be able to make a new beginning and go on their way. Well, that's fine. It would make you happy, and it would make them happy too. So if you want to be spending your own money, Taurus, this is a wonderful time to do it, and I think there's some around. You can do that. Or if you have been through a period of time where you have had to endure a lingering problem that has gone on and on, now you can see a way to end it on a high note and perhaps reward yourself a little bit for making it through all that. Because before you can have a new beginning, generally something does have to end. That's called, you know, going on in life. And so this is a time when you are going to be able to do something that you really want to do. And it may be for someone else, or it may be a reward for something you have endured. And that's just fine. There can be an infusion of cash around somewhere for you. But just remember, with Pluto squaring your sun and Venus and Uranus in your sun sign Taurus, you've got to keep a little money back for unanticipated future expenses connected to whatever you're investing in now. So have another little secret piggy bank around somewhere just in case you need it. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. Well, it's wonderful, Gemini, that Mars is no longer in your sign. It has moved into Cancer. It's at the second degree of Cancer, and it's joining the moon there, which is the ruler. It's very strong in that sign. It's trining one of the signs that rules Scorpio, but it's squaring another sign it rules, Aries. So right now, Gemini, there is very little supporting your sun sign. But what there is pretty powerful. And it's the powerful truth about something. And that is because Pluto has now entered Aquarius, and it is trining your sun, and it's also trining the Libra sun. And Pluto is a planet, it rules Scorpio, but it is a planet of deep psychological transformation and change based on a grain of truth. It rules atomic warfare, actually, and so it rules splitting the atom. And when that happens in a person's life, it generally represents a big change in their life. So there could have been a lingering problem in your life that sort of bowled you over while Mars was in your sign. It was in your sign from August until just last week. So you have been through sort of the mill over the winter. And now Pluto is trining your sun, Gemini. And Pluto represents a grain of truth, deep truth that you can't get away from. And what is it about? It's about your future. It's about all of our futures, actually, because it's in the sign of the future, Aquarius. But it is trining your sign. And it can set you up if you are willing to face the truth about what you want, Gemini, or what you feel most comfortable doing. If you're willing to face the truth about that, and about your current energy level or what your other obligations are, sort of bringing everything together now. If you can face the truth about sort of where you are in life, then you could be setting yourself up for some of the happiest years in your whole life, which are going to start in 2 years when Uranus comes into your sign. And Pluto will be trining it. And that will be a period where you will feel very free, very creative, very young. Your sign rules youth anyway. Geminis always look younger than they are. And it will be a period of more power. You are entering the promised land, or you're entering a great future in a couple of years. And now is when you have to face the truth about, okay, just what can you do? And how can you be successful? And which direction are you going in now? And as long as you're willing to face the truth, Gemini, you're going to do a great job. Don't worry about it. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Well, Cancer today, particularly, you could really feel like you've got all the answers. And maybe you do. And that is because you can be very sure of your feelings, and they can be strong feelings. And the reason why is that there are 4 planets in the water signs all trining each other, and 2 of them are at home in the sign they rule. You have the moon in your sign today at the critical 13th degree. So it's actually stronger than a lot of other planets, because a critical degree heightens the power of any planet that's on it. And so the moon is there, and it's on the United States sun sign today, and in a way that will have some effect on you. A very good one, I think. For one thing, Cancer, America is about to do something really right. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be based on sincere feelings and strong feelings, and require a very determined effort. You might be involved in that in one way or another, Cancer, even if you're just emotionally supportive of that. But this is a time, Cancer, with the moon at 13 degrees and Mars in your sign, both being trined by Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune rules Pisces, and Saturn is at the same degree that Mars is. They're both at 2 degrees trining each other. This could be a time, Cancer, when you sort of step up to the plate and you decide, based on your own strong feelings, that you want to end something on a high note. And it involves a lingering problem. It could also involve an event, or it could involve some sort of move that will take a very determined effort. But you could surprise everybody by how determined you are right now, Cancer. I would say whatever you need, you've already got it. Okay, if you need strength, you've got it. If you need some sort of financial backing, you probably have that somewhere too, Cancer. And if you need to find out the truth and recognize it, and even administer a little justice in one way or another in order to end a lingering problem on a high note, you could do it. So this is a time, even though the moon and Mars in your sign are being squared by the Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury today in Aries. So a new start, I don't think, has quite got underway yet for you, Cancer. but you are determined that it's going to happen based on your strong feelings and on how much you want to end a lingering problem on a high note. You're going to be very successful at that, Cancer. No one will know the strong feelings you have inside, but that's all right. They will strengthen your resolve, or they will strengthen your determination, and you're going to succeed. And that means you can end a lingering problem on a high note, and even if a new beginning looks very challenging, I would say that you've got a very good understanding of it, and you probably do know, or you have the power to surmount any challenges you would face in a new beginning. I wouldn't be afraid of a new beginning now. I think it's long overdue, Cancer. And you're going to be able to hold your head up high and know that no matter how your emotions are inside, you're going to have the dignity to end something on a lingering problem on a high note. You do a very good job of it. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. Well, yours is a fire sign, and the sun today and Mercury and Jupiter are all in Aries trining your sun, Leo. And so they're the only planets in a fire sign, so it's nice that they're trining your sun, because they're certainly lending you a lot of support about a new beginning. And that simply means, with Jupiter conjuncting Mercury, which rules news, it means you've got some very good news headed your way about a new beginning, Leo. That's nice. It may be something that you've wanted, or it may be something that's sort of right out of the blue. Maybe you didn't instigate it, maybe somebody else did, but it's going to affect you really well. It's going to make you happy, Leo. And so I would say that if you wanted to end a lingering problem on a high note, you would be more than eager to do that, just to get that over with, so that you could make a new beginning or participate in someone else's new beginning. And yet, look before you leap, Leo, because there are planets in Aries that, even though they're trining your sun, they are being squared by Mars and the moon in Cancer today, and that means there can be arguments or disagreements about the right way to do something. And Leo rules leadership. As far as Leos are concerned, their way is the right way to do something. And so you might get a little bit involved in other people's opinions, which are different than your own, Leo. And you would have to try to be very tactful, because just remember, you got to cross the finish line. Winning means you cross the finish line. And so don't get caught up in controversy when what you really want to do is act on some great news about a new beginning and head right for it. So this is a time when, if somebody is disagreeing with you about the right way to do something, Leo, just let it go in one ear and out the other, and go ahead and concentrate on your own new start. Do it your way. You're going to get a lot of help with that. So anytime you have a question, just reach out. Somebody will answer it for you. Lucky you. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is a time, Virgo, when you can really benefit from the fact that there is a magical conjunction of the two love planets in Taurus, because both Venus and Uranus are trining your sun, which is great. They are the only planets in an earth sign, but they're trining your sun, and that means there could be some more money coming your way, Virgo. It might be, since your sign rules accounting, it might be that you are moving your investments around a little bit. Maybe you're wanting to sell something, and with the proceeds, buy something else. That would work out really well for you right now. It also might be rather sudden, because Uranus rules sudden, surprising change, and it's trining your sun. So if there is something that you absolutely love to do, or someplace that you want to go, or something you'd like to own, I think you're going to be able to do it, Virgo. Virgos are very practical, but they like high quality. They like things that are well made. And so if there is the possibility that you can sell one thing and purchase something else, this would be a very good time to do that, Virgo. And if you were trying to end a lingering problem on a high note, you could do that. You could do that by helping other people, maybe not with your money, but with your good advice. Virgos are excellent problem solvers. And there are people around that are disagreeing about the right way to do something. Oh, maybe you can help straighten a problem out like that for them, Virgo. But I think overall there can be a very good news about a financial matter, and it may be something that you've sort of been on top of for a while, and you've worked it out, or you've watched the growth of something pretty carefully, and maybe you can be very pleased about the way you're handling your own investments or your own money right now. You can be happy with that. And so that's very good. But if you were wanting to purchase something that's of high quality but also of high price, I would say you're going to have the money to do it, Virgo, so go right ahead if you want to. All right, what does it mean to a Libra? Oh, Libra. This is a time, Libra, when you can certainly benefit from the fact that your ruler, Venus, is in the other sign it rules, Taurus, and it's being conjuncted by the other love planet, Uranus. And so that simply means that there can be some more money coming your way, Libra, and it can sort of fall out of the sky. Or maybe this is a good time to buy a lotto ticket, because the money could just come to you suddenly in one way or another. Now, it might come from you being able to sell something. Gemini rules buying and selling, and it trines your sun. So there could be more money coming that way. But also, this is a time when we can all end a problem on a high note. And one thing that really bothers a Libra is when there is dissension in a partnership or dissension in any relationship. Libra, your sign rules peace. You don't like to argue with people. But some people just, they can just have a lot of different opinions right now, and they can be trying to land them all on your doorstep, Libra. You're going to have to, you're going to have to sort of keep them at bay a little bit if you can. And the reason why that's possible is because there are 5 planets in cardinal signs squaring each other, and they are squaring and opposing your sign. And so the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter in Aries are opposing your sun sign, and the Moon and Cancer, or the Moon and Mars in Cancer are squaring your sun sign. And so there can be some sort of a problem with a family member. It could be a lingering problem. In other words, it's not a new problem. It's one that's been around for a while. And you could think, oh, gee, I've got to solve this right now. Well, maybe you don't have to solve it right now, Libra. Maybe you should just concentrate a little bit more on your own future and what you want to do, and sort of quietly step back when somebody wants to get you in the middle of an argument. Try not to have any time for that. Try to avoid arguments right now, because people can be looking for a fight. Well, that isn't your nature, Libra. So just step back, or just say, gee, I'd love to listen to you, but I can't. I've got an appointment. I've got to go somewhere else. Or you could say, I'm scheduled to take a trip. I'm going to be gone a long time. And just leave. Or at least, try to avoid a lingering problem that has been argumentative in the past, and it could still be argumentative now. Just don't take any more of that, Libra. You don't need to. And besides, Pluto is in Aquarius, and it is trining your sun now. And remember, Pluto rules the absolute truth. And it would be the truth about how we each see our own future. And it trine to your sun. So this is a better time for you to concentrate on your future and sort of tune out any lingering problems right now, particularly the people that want to argue. No, don't take that anymore, Libra. You don't have to get mad at anybody. Just don't be there when they show up, or give an excuse, or call in sick at work. That way you're not blamed for anything. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, there are 4 planets in the water signs, and they all trine your sign. That's pretty good for you, Scorpio, because 2 of them are at home in the sign they rule. They're very powerful. And so Saturn and Neptune in Pisces are trining your sun, which means you are going to have to face a sobering reality about some sort of truth behind the scenes that will come out now. I don't know if it'll be about you, but it'll be about something or somebody that you're associated with, and you're going to be able to sort of see the light. You'll see the truth, and you'll be able to understand it, and that could clear up a lingering problem that you have had, because you perhaps have not been able to get the true story on something, but you will now. And then Mars and the Moon today in Cancer are also trine your sun. And so with these 4 powerful planets, 2 of which are malefic planets, but they're in trine to your sun, they're not hurting you, Scorpio, and one of them is your ruler, Mars. I would say that this is a time when you really can end something on a high note. You can say, okay, this is the end of something. And I hope it's fine with you, because it's fine with me. In other words, it can be something that people agree on now, because these 4 planets are trining your sun. And they're really strong planets. And so even if you learn about deceptions behind the scenes, that will help you and make you a little bit more determined to end something on a high note. But an ending is an ending. Cancer rules endings, and the Moon and Mars are trining your sun as well. And so it could involve a family matter. It could involve a real estate matter, because that's what Cancer rules. It could involve something behind the scenes where you just didn't understand the whole truth, but it will come out. And that could be a reason for you to end something on a high note. In a way that there are such things as amicable endings. Maybe there's somebody that you don't like at work, but either they're moving on or you're moving on. You can say goodbye nicely, and so can they. That's ending something on a high note. And so that's entirely possible. But the real benefit is to you, Scorpio, because these 4 planets are trining each other, and they're very powerful. And so that's going to sort of put you in the power seat yourself. And I think that you will see that justice is done as the truth comes out, and that you will be well equipped to end a lingering problem on a high note. And you'll be proud of yourself for that. You'll do well. And other people will be proud of you too. So you'll probably be respected for that. Saturn is actually a planet of respect. You have to earn it the hard way, but it's trining your sun. So I think that, Scorpio, this is a very good time. In fact, it's one of the best times you'll ever have to end something on a high note. And try to remember that whatever you're ending, keep a smile on your face, because that could make other people feel good too. And this ending is going to make you feel real good, Scorpio, because it will allow you, as well as everybody else, to make a new beginning. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Sagittarius. Well, there are 3 dynamic planets in Aries trining your sun, and one of them is your ruler, Sagittarius. So today the sun itself and Jupiter, your ruler, and Mercury are all in Aries trining your sun. You're about to get some good news, Sagittarius, or maybe you've already got the good news. That would be nice. But if you haven't, it's coming right up, Sagittarius. And that is because Jupiter, your ruler, is conjuncting Mercury, the planet of news. in Aries. So that good news has something to do with a new beginning that will influence you, and so you will be able to make it. It could be even somebody else's new beginning, but it will involve some sort of shared responsibility that you have. In other words, you're sort of going to have a hand in a new beginning. Whether it's your own or somebody else's, you're going to be involved in that, Sagittarius, and you'll do really well. And I think that you'll really enjoy that. And if it isn't your new beginning, but you are assisting someone else, you would be able to help them end a lingering problem on a high note. And Sagittarians are intellectual. It's an intellectual sign. It rules higher education and it rules the courts. And so you may be able to help someone see the finer points of something. Or you may be able to appeal to their higher instincts or their deep-seated values. And so I think you're going to do really well, Sagittarius. Mars is not in Gemini anymore. Whew. That means it's not opposing your sun, which it has been doing since last August. So, I mean, hasn't exactly been easy on you, Sagittarius. You could have felt as if you were sort of wandering through a hot desert for the last 6 months and having to counter all kinds of troublesome problems. But that's over now. And Mars isn't coming back into Gemini for a long time, so you don't have to worry about that. You do have to worry a little bit about the fact that Saturn is in Pisces along with Neptune, the ruler of the sign, and they are squaring your sun. And so they are very well aspected from a powerful trine in the water sign, so I don't think they can hurt you too badly, Sagittarius. But there is the possibility that you will learn some truth about something behind the scenes. Or if you have been trying to hide anything, that won't work. Somebody will find out about it. And so that can represent some sort of lingering problem. But remember, all of us, particularly if we sort of act at our best, we can end a lingering problem on a high note. And you would do that very well, Sagittarius. And you would find just the right words. And I think that can either make you very happy or someone else pretty happy. And remember, you are really aspected to get good news about a new beginning. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. This is a time, Capricorn, when, something very unexpected but quite pleasant involving a financial matter could sort of just drop right out of the sky and into your lap, Capricorn. And the reason why is that the two love planets, Venus and Uranus, are closely conjuncting each other in Taurus, and they both trine your sun. Now, there aren't any other planets in the earth signs. There's nothing in your sign and there's nothing in Virgo. But you are really getting all of the good ways of enjoying extra money or making a good investment or selling something of value that can result in more money for you to make a better purchase. And that is entirely possible right now, Capricorn. So it may be that you are at a time, now that Pluto's not in your sun sign anymore, you may not be thinking so much about your career as about what comes next. And you should try, since the love planets are trining your sun, you should try to ask yourself, well, what do I really love doing? And you should go for what you love. Not just something you love, which I think you can afford, because that's a touching love, but for something that you love in a platonic way. In other words, you may want to be around other people that are doing something that you love doing as well. Well, why shouldn't you? You should do what you love, Capricorn. It doesn't always have to make sense. It doesn't always have to be career-oriented, but it could be something that brings out the love you have inside. And it would be doing that easily because you'd be doing something that you love. And so that could bring out sort of a blossoming of a sort of a new personality for you, Capricorn. And boy, is this the right time to do that, with both love planets trining your sun. So if nothing else, in this next week, you should start to go around more people or go to places that you like going to and rub shoulders with people that are doing things that you like. And be happy, Capricorn. Why not? So I wish you the best of luck. We all have more love in our hearts than we share. Sometimes we get scared of love and we keep it inside. But we need to get over that. We need to end that on our fear on a high note, say goodbye to it, and just go out and open up a little bit to others. Because others can be dying to have you do that, Capricorn. I mean, you're more popular than you realize. But they'll never find you at home. So you've got to get out. All right, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time with Pluto now in your sign at 0 degrees. It simply means that it's got a long way to go before it leaves your sign, Aquarius. And actually, it's going to spend the rest of this year sort of wandering back and forth. I think by June it goes back into Capricorn, and then later on it comes into your sign, and then it goes back into Capricorn, but it ends up in your sign, Aquarius. It's just doing that for a lot of this year, going back and forth between the two signs. But it has entered your sign, Aquarius. And so that simply means that this is a time when you need to marshal your own strength. You need to think about bringing out that power that is within you. Where did that power come from? It came from all the trouble that you surmounted in the last 3 years when Saturn was in your sign, challenging you. Okay, you might not have won every battle, but you sure succeeded at something, Aquarius, because you survived, and you're doing better now than you did before Saturn got into your sign, which means you learned a lot of things along the way. And with that extra knowledge and all the experience that you have gained in the last 2 or 3 years, you have to ask yourself what you're going to do with it. And Pluto is in your sign, and your sign rules the future. So how are you going to use your newfound skills and your own sense of power now to advance? How are you going to make your future better, Aquarius? Think about it. And you have to consider truthfully what your health is like, or what your frame of mind is like, or what your energy level is, and what your budget is. But I would say you're in much better shape than you used to be, Aquarius. And you can be proud of how you have made it through the last few years. And that's why, I think you owe yourself a better future. You have earned it. Only, where does your power come in now? How can you express it? You should think about that a little bit, because this may be a very good time for you to end something on a high note, Aquarius, and you would do well with that. And remember, my aunt always said, one door has to close before another one can open. So just think about it. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. Well, your sign is one of the signs that has its own ruler in it, Neptune. You know that because it's been in your sign for years. And Saturn, that planet of sobering reality, is in your sign as well. But they are being beautifully trined right now by the moon today in Cancer at 13 degrees, a critical degree which heightens its power, and Mars, which is at 2 degrees, exactly trining Saturn in your sign, also at 2 degrees. They're very harmonious themselves because they're trining each other. And so, Pisces, you're at a point where you can really face the truth about something, and you can sort of admit it. And it can be about something that you've been kidding yourself about, or it can be about something that you've been hiding from people. It can be about something that you're a little bit afraid of. And yet, your sign is under such good aspects to examine the very strong feelings that either you or other people have about an event or a move that can be in your future or taking place even right now. And it can require determined effort. That's Mars and Saturn trining each other. So if you've got some big job ahead of you, Pisces, and you're wondering if you're going to make it through, you'll have the strength, you'll have the determination, you'll be able to really do it. And that is how you can end a lingering problem on a high note. And why do you need to do that? Because the Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury in Aries are right ahead of your sun sign. And Jupiter conjuncting Mercury in Aries means there is good news about a new beginning for just about everybody, including you, Pisces. But you have to sort of face reality right now. And so a bubble could burst. There could be a dream that you've had that you could be thinking to yourself, oh, I don't think I'm going to make it on that one. Well, that's okay. None of us have all of our dreams come true. But a better dream could certainly be on your horizon, Pisces, with these 4 planets so beautifully trining each other in the water signs. And justice can be done because they're trining the sign of Scorpio as well. And it simply means that if you are aware of the truth about somebody or something, and it could even be about feelings you have that have changed over time. And if you're willing to admit that now and sort of deal with reality, I think you're going to do a splendid job of that. You're going to do really well. This isn't the time to run away from something. This is a time to face something. Because you're going to get some help with that. But on top of that, you're going to, with a lot of dignity, you're going to be able to end a lingering problem on a high note. This is just an excellent time for you. And one of the best things for you is that Mars is no longer in Gemini. It is not squaring Neptune or Saturn anymore. And you've been facing challenges. But, either they've gone away or you're willing to go forward yourself and sort of leave them behind. But one way or another, you're going to do very well with ending something on a high note. I think you're actually going to be proud of yourself. And everyone else is going to like how you handle it too. It'll make everybody feel good. So congratulations. And remember, it's based on facing the truth and not kidding yourself. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can read my blog on my website, starborninstitute.org, and I would be happy to send you the show on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock if you subscribe to it on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel. And I hope you tell your friends about that as well, so that we can all sort of follow what's going on from week to week and get through a tumultuous year of ups and downs. It'd be nice if we could do it together. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.